神秘を解き明かす。
So over the holidays, I finally had an in-person visit from a longtime collaborator. What's up, guys? Those familiar with the channel know that Ryan and I have done several projects together now, and I consider us a bit of a brotherly explorer duo when it comes to learning about this contemporary Japanese sound. I've long had the idea of covering Breath of the Wild's music for Tarrey Town, and since Ryan is one of the few people who is quite as obsessed with Zelda music as I am, we decided to record this discussion about Tarrey Town together. Rather than just pointing out the leitmotifs, there are 5 leitmotifs. Spoiler. Ryan and I go deeper in our conversation to actually consider how Yasuaki Iwata went about making the necessary room to incorporate so much musical material into the song, one theme at a time. Please enjoy. Ryan Leach is here with me for a special in-person guest activity, I guess we could call it. We're gonna look at Tarrey Town together. Arguably the best tune in Breath of the Wild. Maybe.
Okay. I think it's one of those things that is a lot easier to imagine you're gonna write than to actually write.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, that'd be easy, just to add all these layers, but like,
yeah.
Really well crafted.
It's a town that you build up in the game. The town has no houses, and then as you keep doing side quests, there is a person from each of the 4 nations in Breath of the Wild that ends up building a house there, and the music updates every time that they come. Let's listen to the Empty Town theme first.
Something that I think stands out is that there's no intro. And even though all these things loop, a lot of the tracks in the game have 2, 4, 8-bar introduction. And this one goes into it, but I feel like part of that is practical because it's one of those themes that kind of fades in as you get closer. And it's not necessarily ever starting at bar 1. Non-linear. So yeah, so an intro is wasted space, I guess, kind of.
There's lots of rests on the 1, like on the downbeat, which is a good idea if we're going to have lots of melodic content. It's established first by the English horn melody waiting to come in until the and of 2. Even the chords are holding off on the 1 in bar 4 here.
So I think it's worth noticing how diatonic the A theme is. Super diatonic, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of the lesson from this is going to be people are afraid to do the simple things, but the simple things are what make it work. The bongo part shows a lot of restraint.
Yeah.
Because if I was playing that drum and there was all this space, I would want to fill it. And then in the B theme, we get a little bit of color.
We got a couple curly brace guys here.
Right.
But that's it.
And he saves it for the B section so you don't spoil it right in the beginning. Because whatever you do in the beginning, you always have to one-up to keep things going. So if you're only going to do a little bit of harmonic color, you better save it for the second half.
We're just ending each statement with like a nice long sustain. Again, there's a lot of room for counter melodies. Let's add a Goron.
Grayson and Pellison. So there's 2 of them who come. That's why there's 2 instruments.
Oh, you're right. Little brother can play the marimba,
Right.
and big brother can play the trombone.
Very satisfying. Yeah, it's fine.
starting with this one, now every version does 2 repeats, one of which is different.
Which what I think is partly interesting about that is it's about 90 seconds long. It's a little more than 90 seconds, which comes up again and again and again in Nintendo music that loops. It's always around a 90-second loop. To me, I'm like, oh, that's all you need. A huge game like this, you can get away with just a 90-second loop. They do it in Mario Odyssey, they do it in Breath of the Wild, like over and over and over. Part of why I think this works so well is not just the colors, but that each color has a very specific role. So the English horn and trombone are lyrical only. They don't use the trombone as a rhythm. They don't use it as chords. And then the marimba is only that little lick.
In orchestration, they'll talk about either the blended sound or the unblended sound, the mosaic or the bento box sound is what I call it. Like, is it a curry or is it a bento box?
It's meant to feel like a lively town where everybody who comes in is kind of, oh, the merchant is here now and the logger is here now. Keeping them to those roles also feels more like what we're going for. I think it's interesting on the second A, I think it is, the trombone kind of steps on top of the English horn a little bit.
Big brother Goron is taking up maybe somebody else's space.
Right. The counterpoint, it's going fifth to a fifth, octave to an octave. Like, there's some parallel fifths there.
That's actually maybe a good thing to do here, right? They blend a little on purpose.
Also, the colors are so different that we don't confuse them or anything like that.
Is that an English horn or is it a trombone?
Right.
Going...
That player was like, you know.
A Gerudo character named Ronson joins the town, who will later marry Hudson. We're spoiling stuff here. It's been 6 years, y'all. Play the game. Wait, dude. What a great gliss. Nothing in the B section.
I think what's surprising about this version is how very little has been added to it.
Yes.
But the color of the hammered dulcimer is so unique and strong that you feel like, oh, this is the next version of the theme.
This is the B melody from the Gerudo.
The roll is so similar to the marimba, but they stay out of each other's way. Like, they're very obviously carved around each other. There's one note where they're both playing at the same time. Just that F.
Here's the small bit of speculation. This seems too perfect to have just been arrived at. I wonder if Iwata had to edit one of these, like go back and change it in Gerudo Village or in Goron Town so that they fit together here. See what I mean?
Or was it fate that they're like, wow, these just line up right perfectly together, right?
Could be. I would bet the truth is somewhere in the middle. We're starting to see the payoff of having the English horn pause on the downbeat here, right? Trombone has all this room to ba-da-ba, here I am. No one else is around. Hudson's not in town. This is already a super involved musical endeavor for a side quest. I actually got to the end of Breath of the Wild never knowing about Tarrey Town. I only found out about this because of the official release of the soundtrack. Also, I'm giving a talk at MagFest next week in Washington, D.C. The title of the talk is Zelda and Ghibli, a shared musical heritage, wherein I explore some of the deep musical connections between the two franchises. If you're planning to be there, my talk will be at 1 p.m. on Friday, January 19th in Panels Room 3. Come say hi. And until next time, じゃあね.